Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Alpha Omega occasionally. On this occasion, we're talking about guys who are leaving Thailand because they're not cut out for it, or Thailand isn't cut out for them. And contrary to popular opinion, based on my last couple of videos, Thailand is cut out for me. And although not all of it by any means, but I couldn't see myself doing what some YouTubers are doing, i.e. going back to their home countries. For me, it would be, there's no such thing as impossible, but if I think about it, this is March. There's no way I could be able to live in my home country again. Well, you can never say never, but at this time of year, no way. No bloody way. I'll draw your attention to a video. Now, I never mention other YouTubers. I don't really like to mention other YouTubers, but in a positive way and with the greatest of respect, I mentioned Thai Talk with Dan. I watched his recent video on discussing or outlining his decision to move back to the United Kingdom, and I wish him every success. But he mentioned a couple of things in that video, and I've got the highest respect for you, Dan, if you're watching. I think you're from Manchester, that region. Well, that's what your accent sounds like. But you mentioned a few things in your video about the reasons why, and one of them really struck home with me is fitting in Thailand. And you mentioned two types of people. The type of guy who was selfish and out for his own thing, and the type of guy who is placid and quiet and goes along with the flow. The former is the one that will succeed in Thailand. And unless you're the latter, you won't succeed. Let me explain a bit more. A lot of guys that come here don't experience the real Thailand. They go to Nana, they live in Nana, they live in, well, not Nana, they live in Sukhumvit in Bangkok. They live in Pattaya and live in Phuket. They live in all the touristy type of areas. And when you live in those places, you don't experience the real Thailand. I mean, that's it. I mean, you can. I don't care what they say, you don't experience the real Thailand. And Thai Talk with Dan, I think he lives in Isan. He's experiencing the real Thailand. When I go to Pontoutini, I experience the real Thailand. When I live where I live here in Hue Quang, I experience the real Thailand. But guys who live in Pattaya and Sukhumvit don't. I mean, I've said it before. I watch the videos. They talk about, the soys in Pattaya, and they talk about the soys in Sukhumvit, and the farang, or the amenities and the entertainment that caters for farang. Well, you see, if you're like Thai Talk with Dan and you live with a Thai wife and you're completely surrounded, I won't say immersed, I was going to say immersed, I'm not immersed, surrounded by Thai culture, and you realise then that you're in the real Thailand and you just don't fit in. Talking about fitting in, one of the things that really annoys me, and I've said it before I haven't said this particular thing a million times before, but I've said lots of things before, negative things. One of the things that really annoys me is the language here. I really don't like the language. But that's my personal, not preference, it's just the way I feel. I mean, it's annoying. I hear things like loy, and it really annoys me. I don't even know what it means. Matni loy, or whatever the hell it is. And, people say it's a beautiful language. I don't think it's a beautiful language. I don't even think my own language. I'll give you an example of what I mean when I don't think it's a beautiful language. I don't think my own language is a beautiful language. If I want to say I love someone in my own language, it's ta gra agum ort. Does that sound romantic? And if I say it in Thai, pamrak kon, I mean, God, yeah. Language is just one of the things, and that's a barrier. That's part of the isolation you'll feel and how you don't fit in. most guys never master the Thai language, the vast majority, and that lends itself to this not fitting in. And I know more than one guy who said to me that they don't like their wife's Thai family. Now, we're talking about rural Thailand. I'm talking about rural Thailand, and where people are very traditional. I mean, ultra traditional, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you go to a Thai family gathering, you do not fit in. You absolutely do not fit in. And if you try to fit in, it's like a wannabe. You go around the temple on a festival day or Songkran or whatever it may, and you do what they do, like this, and they love to see you dancing like a Thai, but you look like an absolute tonsil, and you feel like a tonsil. Songkran is coming up, and I'm just not looking forward. I hate Songkran. And I'm not the only one. I hate Songkran. It's a pain in the hole. And you see, a lot of fellas say to me, "Oh, you're not happy in Thailand." I am happy. I am very happy here. I'm happy here, and how I survive. And just coming back to what Dan said in his video, there's two types of guys. There's the type of guy who get married to a Thai woman, and if you're not placid and understanding and quiet and agreeable, you won't have a happy marriage. And that's something I've had to learn, because Thai people are emotionally immature. They can't see your point of view. They don't understand, or they have no. They haven't got the ability or the will to try and realize that you're from a different culture and make an allowance for any kind of misunderstanding and put it down to culture. My Thai wife can't do that. If I do something that's contrary to Thai culture, it's not because I want to, it's because I've grown up and I've been programmed in another culture. And it's pretty difficult to fit in. But again, I'll say, contrary to popular opinion, or no, I won't say popular, I'll say common opinion, that I don't get on with my Thai wife and I don't fit into Thailand. Well, I do fit in my own way, and I do get on with my wife. We're not compatible on every score, but we are compatible on enough to see us through. And I'm going to be here, as far as I'm concerned, if it's anything to do with me, I'll be here for the duration. I don't see any plan in the future, or I have no plan in the future to uproots and move back to Farangland. I did say in a previous video that if I wasn't married, I'd go to Spain, because I don't need a visa because of an EU passport, and the climate, let's say, would be as similar to here as you could get in Europe, kind of thing. But that's only if my circumstances change. So as I said, if I have anything to do with it, I'll stay here. If circumstances dictate that I can no longer stay here, then that's where I go. And going back to the guys, the Farang, who live in the pseudo Thailand, in the parallel Thailand, in other words, the place that isn't Thailand, like Sukhumvit or Pattaya or Phuket. And I know there's probably other places like that. But a message to those guys: you're not living in Thailand. You're living in a convenient place that replicates your own society in a warmer climate. And I'd give those guys a limited amount of time. If they decided to move to a place like this, where I am in Huy Quang, or to Isan, or to Pontutini, or countless other places in rural Thailand, I'd give them a time limit of about 6 months before they'd pack up and go home, or pack up and go back to their illusion of Thailand in Sukhumvit and Pattaya and Phuket. I have full respect for Thai Talk with Dan for making this decision. He knows damn well where he is. But he said something else as well about making a living in Thailand. He said he lives month to month. I'm very lucky that I have the mechanisms in place that I don't have to worry too much about living month to month, i.e. whatever my income is. And I'm very lucky in that regard. If I was in his position, I'd be moving off too, but I wouldn't be moving back to Ireland. Well, in his case, it's the UK, but I'm not from the UK. But if I wouldn't be moving back to my home country because I just couldn't bear it. I heard another YouTuber mention that one of his regrets for moving back was the weather, the dark nights and the cold and the rain. I was watching a video from Ireland there, lots of videos. St. Patrick's Day, it was covered all over, celebrated all over the world. The only national holiday, by the way, that is global. And that's to do with Irish emigration over the years. But when I saw the weather, I said, oh my God, the trees were bare. It was squally rain, it was dark, it was cold. Do you know the sun is something like, I don't know what the percentage is. Let's just say ballpark. The sun is 20% brighter here near the equator than it is at 53 degrees north is where Dublin is. 53 degrees north. Bangkok is 13 degrees north. So the sun is actually brighter. And that lends itself to cancelling out depression for me. So I just want to say that Thai Talk with Dan, I respect you. I wish you the best of luck in the future. It's an extremely brave decision, but you see, you're young enough to do it. You're in your 40s. I'm in my 60s. There is no way that I could see myself starting again, and that's another thing. I have to try and make it work here, and I will, and I am, and it's happening. And even though I'm not happy every day, I'm happy enough. I'm happier here than I ever would be back in my own country, and I have been happier here than I have ever been in my own country. And I just want to thank Thai Talk with Dan for making that video. I think it's from the heart. If you watch it, you'll get a real understanding of how difficult it can be to settle here long term. So that's my 5 cents worth. And the message to you is, I'm here for the duration. I couldn't see myself going anywhere else. And I am surviving in the real Thailand, not living in the illusion of Sukhumvit and Pattaya and Phuket. Because that's a mistake. Because you can live in an illusion if you have the money to live in that illusion. I don't have that kind of money, and I wouldn't want to live there. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you haven't done so already, click that like button, the share button, subscribe button. Do all those wonderful things. And I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.